My
Stop. Screen. Starting great. Screen. All right. We'll stream to P. You still playing as Sentinels?
yeah, sure is.
Getting so frustrated with those.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Have you read those
Sentinels.
cards? I feel like they're designed to frustrate the player. What if we take this cool thing and like made it harder to play? I see a Miz. No, is that X-Men? Is that a Venom? What do we got here? Webs, and that is a Venom. This is
Got over here?
a
Paying attention.
very almost not. This
Huh.
is a stock adjacent web warriors list.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Fist is there for.
Asgardian for advanced R&D.
I was just saying if he has an advanced R&D, he sure does.
Yep.
Huh?
And then, right, like every once in a while, giving somebody the Iron Fist probably isn't terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
And he has that extra mobility with his jump kick gainer.
It's true. I don't hate it.
Yep.
Not hate
Where's
it.
the stream link?
Getting there. I'm working.
Okay.
Kind of slow. Put it in the chat. Streamer.
Ooh, fancy.
He checks that. I definitely
Yep.
even know it was a thing.
What?
Oh wait, that's the stream sign up. Can't even post in this.
Yep. You're not a cool streamer yet.
Not special.
Uh-huh. Okay. There we go. All right. Are we live?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We were just chilling. We were just chatting. I don't think there's anybody in here anyway, so it's fine.
No worries. Sending it out.
I put it in some Discord chat.
Yeah. Chris just asked me where the link was, so I went and sent it off.
Hey.
They are probably doing their pre-game discussion, walking around, looking at each other's lists, mousing over all of the things. We've got a very stock webheads, stock adjacent, probably stock.
Let's go look.
Mm-hmm.
Dice yet?
No, they're picking out their map.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And
No core box, Peter. Makes me sad.
yeah, well, having the Venom in there instead of the core box Peter is sort of the reason why I don't want to call the Web Warriors roster stock. But that is 100% because I I still am close enough to the DeLuca school of webs to be supremely unenthused by what Venom does as an affiliated four, especially with Spider-Woman coming in to the roster, which they do have. Honestly, I might even prefer Agent Venom over regular Venom for like a Miles Morales roster.
Well, that bodyguard, Lethal Protector, is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Saved me a few times playing webs.
Yeah, definitely. It's
It's like we're playing at 17.
okay.
That's a guaranteed.
That's okay. Yeah, I didn't see their flip. Oh God, what are they doing?
What happened?
What are they doing?
Madness.
Did they rotate the map and then
rotated the table?
Okay. Are they okay?
Try this again. Is what they're saying.
Okay.
I didn't even know you could rotate the table.
I don't think they knew that. Judging by the reactions, I think they're gonna go over and reselect their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do we have? We had Infinity Formula and
cubes. Infinity Cubes, power for days.
Mm-hmm. Web Warriors really like.
Yeah. I was about to say.
Fans.
They're gonna be super juiced up. I guess Sentinels have to be one of those like weird jerkish matchups for Web Warriors that they can't be super excited to be like, oh fuck, size 5. Like crap, I can't web pull.
Yeah, well, I mean, that size unrestricted, right? It's the superpower that stops them from pulling them.
Yeah.
Be curious if Chalupa here is gonna go double Sentinels.
If he plans on winning, I hope he doesn't.
Not a fan of him that much, huh?
I believe the general heuristic for increasing your win percentage with the Sentinels affiliation is to play the fewest amount of robots that are named Sentinel Mark IV as possible.
Interesting. Interesting.
I mean, they're just kind of not great. They're not quite there.
But like being unable to be moved by the stupid webs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not awful. Okay, yeah, they're not very.
They're like so slow too on the spread out B deployment. There's no way.
Yeah, but they only need 2.
Only. That's so much. You got Prime sitting over there. Like this B deployment's already going to be bad because Prime can't like go lock down a whole like 3/4 of the table by himself.
Right.
So he's gonna have to pick up just one corridor, and then if that's going to be a problem, like all of these long moving Web Warriors, I'm sure they're just gonna tough it out and not move to the other side.
Well, I don't think we see a Venom here because of Sentinels.
Yeah,
he just gets aced.
Maybe people say that Sentinels are weak to physical attacks, and Venom is the hardest hitting physical attacker on that roster. So that could be a reason that somebody wants to bring Venom. If they're bringing Web Warriors to try to bring somebody to Pound Town, which I don't want to say is good, but this player definitely does have Venom in their roster, so I have to imagine that is in their mind somewhere.
Well, he's also got Amazing Spider-Man, who hits pretty hard physically wise, and gets that center attack steal. So I assume we're gonna see.
With the
ASM here would be my guess for the center attack steal.
That has to be why we don't have core box Peter Parker, right? Because he's got Amazing Spider-Man and he's afraid of the double Peter Parker roster.
I don't know. I played both. It's fun.
I 100% agree. Tactically with you.
Sometimes you want a 4.
Yeah, I also agree. And you're not gonna
I don't think Mr. Chalupa has any centerline extract steals.
No, he's looking to blast the crap out of people who don't have centerline extract steals.
Right.
Probably. Yeah, Sentinel's not exactly known for their speed or their ability to score points super well.
What do you mean? They sit on the point and they win the point.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, as soon as I get there.
I mean, it's real close. It's not far.
Mm-hmm.
There's some big terrain here, though. Like
Yeah,
threes and fours, and
did you see if Chalupa had the old smash play in his roster?
He did originally when we were making this on our way back from LVO. I don't know if he took it out.
Mm-hmm. Because there's a size 4 on his front lane if he does, so he could definitely use that to lock down one of these 2 lanes.
I gotta imagine that you're playing Sentinels, you're playing Smash.
I don't know, right? Because they don't have the place on their turn that really unlocks Smash for somebody like Dormammu. That would be a thing that I would be worried about, is that if your Sentinel Prime like casually sauntered up next to a size 4 terrain feature, right? Like you're not going to smash for just one action. So you're going to spend a turn walking next to this, you're going to be within one of this size 4 terrain feature, and then you got to make it through an entire round of your opponents where they're definitely not throwing this size 4 terrain feature at your 3 defense character.
Well, I mean, so against Webheads,
you
have no size 4, right? So he's pretty much guaranteed his.
Mm-hmm. But in the world we live in, like Hulk throws size 4 terrain things all day, so I could see it not being in the roster.
Yeah, but
where they yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could see it.
Yeah, it would be good this game, 100%. I just don't know if Chris has been bad touched by like Angela's throwing crap at him enough that he's just like, I'm just not walking next to terrain features.
Sounds like you got to play him a little bit more and just beat the smash out of him. Oh, we got teams, sweet.
All right, 5 wide versus 4 makes sense. I only see one Sentinel walking in.
Let's look at Chris's. Yeah, you called it.
Yep.
Oh, we got some size 4 throws. Is there smash in here? There is smash. Called it.
Okay, it's still in the roster. We got patch up, mental dom. That makes sense. This is a robbery. Directive 1 also makes sense. Get rid of the stealth against webheads. And hey, look, Amazing Spider-Man coming in. We've got Amazing Spider-Man and Miles Morales walking in. So, what is Blue Player's name, by the way? Do you know?
Modesto. Danny Modesto, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Modesto drops Amazing Spider-Man in there, definitely super telegraphing that center extract steal. But he does have Spider-Man deployed and does not have to announce that until after deployment. So Chalupa does have to go through all of deployment, not knowing which leadership they're going to play. I have to imagine that Amazing Spider-Man gets a lot nastier here. It has to be the play to be playing Amazing Spider-Man leadership, because that's one of the few ways that they have to displace Sentinel Prime.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right, just
but you're also
being
not
able to
making. You're not merely making like the slow model slower either. That's a lot of power for webheads to be able to displace them, I guess.
Yeah, we're playing on power given, and I'm just imagining the turn where Wong double moves and pulls and bump in the knights, your opponent's giant based Rhino or Sentinel Prime, right? Like that.
Yeah, for sure.
That has to be exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah.
Chris is pulling super wide.
So he is
hard declaring his lanes for sure.
Yeah.
Kind coming up onto one flank. We've got the flattest Spider-Woman I've ever seen, along with Wong. And Miles has declared his one lane.
Which way do you think this Amazing Spider-Man's going? I think he's going towards Miles's.
Probably, right, just to even it out. It's not like he's going to get gatted down by Winter Soldier.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So.
But I would also maybe just hard commit aside, right? Like his Sentinels aren't getting to the other side.
No, that makes sense. Sentinel Prime, not exactly known for his speed.
Yeah, just grab it and hard commit to one side and just destroy that one.
Yeah, pull away. Chalupa has Sentinel Prime and Cassandra Nova coming onto one flank. They aren't exactly known for their heavy rotational speed.
Right.
So it makes sense.
You can abuse your long movers and
yeah. Spider-Man comes out and plops his nice healthy sized rump right onside an Infinity Cure so that he will get an extra 2 power at the start of his next power phase. Looks like Chalupa is measuring out a nice single move, single shoot with his Winter Soldier.
Can't imagine much damage, if any, is going to go through here.
That makes sense.
4 dice against reroll.
Rapid fire. Oh yeah. Definitely is where Winter Soldier is going to feel his power for damage instead of his rapid fire being a gainer. Not having a really big and cool Hydrotactic setup. Players move over, roll dice. Attacker shows 1 success, will bleed Spider-Man. And no rapid fire. Ends the attack sequence, and the turn is on.
I think is all you really want in there. Just apply that bleed.
Yeah.
That's all you could expect from it.
Get the attrition on early. And it is one of the few sources of the damage that doesn't give Spider-Man more power. So a non-zero amount of concern. That bleed's going to be pretty inconsequential until it is going to look kind of like a stagger.
Be super curious if Mr. Webhead here grabs this extract and just starts boogieing the other side. Like, you're not going to lose this point. Right? Like, you're not going to lose this Infinity Formula.
Yeah. Miles Morales pulls a single move, picks up a cube, and is going to go sniff Peter Parker's butt. Just getting all nice and cozy next to that car.
I suppose the extra power is probably staying there. Makes sense.
Yep, that makes sense. If they both get... I do not see Miles Morales hiding with the Infinity Cure over his head. So I don't know if he's going to get the extra 2 power.
I think that was just a bug game, right? Because you put down the range 1 and measure within 1.
Definitely. That makes sense. That would unlock a web swing on round 2.
Both of them,
without
right?
any dice. Yes, definitely. So those Spider-Mans are going to go pretty much everywhere. Anywhere they want to, but...
Aggressive note there.
That makes sense.
Front of the Infinity characters here, I guess 2.
Nova apparently is not worried about Wong moving up and putting the beats down, or Ghost Spider. The Ghost Spider Pain Train is apparently also not super scary. These activations are going across back and forth pretty quickly. Both players are moving their characters up to their respective Infinity Formulas. All 5 cubes have been picked up. Focusing on the extract points, and now it's time for the big one. Rhino moves in, measures quite a range 3 away from Miles Morales. Hmm. Looks like Rhino is thinking about what his second action is going to be.
It's gotta be just move up within 3 and
Has to be.
be on that point. Easy. Kind of hard to
Easy,
see.
for
There's a
sure.
giant big truck in my way. Hopefully that disappears next round.
I imagine so. I've heard the Rhino's pretty rude uh, about stuff like that. So, and it would make sense. It's at the very least flavorful for Rhino to be bearing down hard on Peter Parker. So I do have to respect Chalupa over here for putting the Rhino when you're playing against a Web Warrior player. That definitely was like a flavorful pick. 100%. It's definitely not like a meta choice.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
I wonder how aggressive he's gonna get with his prime over here. If he's just gonna sit on that back point and look for the extra power, or if he's going to double move to really get up and threaten.
Well, with how
Team.
Wong's has Wong double meditated for 2 actions and then advanced R&D'd off 2 power, 1 to Miles Morales, 1 to Spider-Woman.
Oh.
Because Miles isn't going to have enough power next turn and definitely just needed 1 more.
I could have juiced the heck out of his
Make
team
him
here.
tick. Yeah. So Wong is sitting nice and comfortably on the deployment line and will continue to be so up until next turn. Extra power onto Spider-Woman definitely makes sense. We've got an extract with him having 3 cubes securely in place, putting some extra power into Spider-Woman so that she's threatening to make somebody drop a cube and then run away.
She's gonna be pretty flush with power too. She's got a cube and an infinity.
Yeah, and Miles has the same thing. His jump just costs 1 more power, but he gets to go farther. So I'm wondering if the macro plan here for the webheads is to just try to take 5 cubes and then dip.
Yeah, and just worry about getting their 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Well, right now, as it sits, Web Warriors are gonna score 5 points to 4, and nobody's making any attacks. So I can't imagine this is outside of the comfortability realm of the Web Warriors having a points lead without rolling dice.
So impact webbing here, hoping for the wild.
Okay. Dang. 1 more power on the Ghost Spider for a single move and a single attack. And this was impact webbing onto Nova,
like Nova,
right?
yeah. I don't think could have made that attack because of stealth.
Nova has stealth. Does Nova have 3 physical defense? Nova doesn't.
Oh, so
That
then
was
it
on
must have
Prime.
been Prime. Yep.
Yeah. Must have been Prime.
Definitely Prime. So just fishing for the power then. Wild.
Yeah, definitely. Which, more power on Ghost Spider without having to sit on an objective point. We move on to round 2, just like before. We've got 5 to 4.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. So many people are flush with power. And yeah, Prime at 5 power. Ready to move out. And Chalupa is going to activate with priority.
To get rid of that Gwen, which makes sense to me.
That from what I have learned, that is step 1, 2, and 3 of dealing with the Web Warriors opponent. Is where's Gwen? Can she die? Is she dead?
Yeah, Nova's actually pretty juiced too here, so it opens up a lot of able to. I think this side down with Spider-Woman and Gwen it's going to be a hard win a hard side to win for Desto.
That makes sense to me. It's definitely the powerhouses of the roster, and I have to imagine that plan A for the Web Warriors is not to go dive Cassandra Nova and try to bring her to Pound Town.
Yeah, there's not really good targets for her. I mean, even Spider-Woman with her energy attacks isn't really super favored against Prime because of the 4 and rolls.
Sentinel Prime spends 2 power to pull Spider-Woman.
Ghost Spider, right?
Yeah, Ghost Spider.
Yep.
Gwen.
Ooh, with a deflection for the free damage here, maybe? Or not, psychic distraction, I mean.
Those tricks and traps. This is straight out of the Spider Foes roster. Make it painful for your opponent to move. We've got
it.
three successes from an attack onto Gwen. Gwen's resolving her crit. Rolls 1 block. We'll take 2 from the first action.
Cover, right? Prime. So
cover, take 1. Makes sense. I wonder if the 3 is for Cassandra Nova's card.
It feels really early to play it.
Okay.
But
yeah.
So I think he was just thinking about it, and he's like, I could do this.
Yeah.
And decided against it.
Yeah. Keep it in your mind. I'd definitely rather think about and decide against my triggers. Sentinel Prime rolls a crit, resolving 3 successes against 3 successes total, going up to 4 on offense. Ghost Spider will take 1 damage, and Sentinel Prime will end his turn, gaining 2 power at the end. Double attacking and dealing 2 damage total to a Ghost Spider does not sound like it was plan A for this turn.
No. Yeah, you threw quite a bit of dice at him. I think you boosted it.
Yeah, it looked like 3, 6, 7. Yeah, I think he threw 7 dice the first time and 6 dice the second time and got a crit on the second one.
Super good roll. Cover is so good. Should never underestimate cover, that's for sure.
Well, and that's why you focus down the Ghost Spider first, because she's the only Web Warrior that doesn't have the defensive tech, so giving her cover. I'm not sure if she had cover from the attacks before getting grapplinged in.
Didn't have the range, I don't think, is why he grappled her.
That makes sense. If only there is a way that this big robot could like remove that terrain feature that's within one of them. Looks like Cassandra Nova is being measured for a cheeky web pull.
I'm curious the way here. Nova has ways to get back onto the point, so like pulling her off isn't. But I guess if you've got nothing else, like you can't pull Prime, so.
Yeah, spend the power, pull Cassandra Nova off, and then take Gwen and get out of dodge. After getting Gwen moves forward, standing right next to Cassandra Nova, spends 2 power to web pull Cassandra Nova off of the point back towards.
And then goes right back into cover.
And at no point in that sequence did Cassandra Nova opt to. I guess it was just on that first move. Cassandra Nova didn't.
First move, you could have done it, but I mean, it might have been worth it to kind of move her into a position where the pull wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah, it would have been more awkward, but. Well, and all that really did was it spent some power on on Gwen and just kept Gwen close to the action, but a tiny bit back.
I mean, it also allowed Spider-Woman to be able to move up and not have to worry about getting psychic distractioned.
Yep.
I opened up that bubble a little bit more.
Yep, that makes sense. And is Prime holding a cube, or is Nova the cube holder on that flank?
Nova's holding the
Okay.
cube over there.
Hmm. Which makes sense. That way you don't have to worry about a Spider-Woman coming over and making you drop your stuff without being able to at least try to scoot away.
Yep.
Looks like we are looking at activating on the other side now that Cassandra Nova has been pulled away.
Yeah, I think Rhino could do some work here, actually, into Miles.
I certainly hope so. He spent his entire last turn setting himself up to do something.
Right. I think you could probably pretty reliably. Looks like he's attacking an Amazing Spider-Man, which will give him his place. Is really probably what he's only looking for here.
Yep.
Oh, this is a Bucky attack. Is 4 dice?
Yes. Yep, 4 dice. Bucky attack gets the rapid fire into Amazing Spider-Man, it looks like, for physical defense. Rerolls all. Was that a second reroll? We're on Miles leadership? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Go with Miles, huh?
Instead of ASM leadership. Interesting. Bucky gets his third attack. Will continue to tell Amazing Spider-Man that I want you to bleed. And Spider-Man has 2 blocks. Just 2. We'll take 1 damage.
Pretty good Bucky activation into an Amazing Spider-Man.
And he's going to let it rip again. That was 1 action for some damage. Just the 1, but it is a rapid fire, so we'll pull over. Winter Soldier gets 3 successes. We'll resolve a crit.
Bucky is popping off.
3 successes total. Amazing Spider-Man pulls his defenses. Does not convert. We'll reroll 1 for Miles Morales. Looking to not take too much damage. Only 1 block. We'll take 2.
No way.
That leaves Peter Parker with 5 out of 6 stamina, and he's got a bleed token on him.
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah, that bleed's pretty inconsequential until it looks pretty much like a stagger.
Yeah, that's rough.
And now Peter Parker definitely has to activate before he gets flattened by a Rhino.
Yeah, now he's in a bad spot because he doesn't have.
But he's holding a cube still too.
He's gonna get out of dodge here and try to get healed by Wong. Would be my guess.
That makes sense.
Move place. They bleed. This is kind of what I've expected to happen. Like, I would just hard leave a flank. And, like, Bucky and Rhino probably... Like, if Miles leaves there, Rhino is going to spend turn this side.
That makes sense.
You can't
just
really...
claim the point, but, like, yeah, that makes sense. If he just leaves, Rhino's pretty much... has to be stapled to that infinity formula because he's down on points.
Right.
Rhino.
I think you can get a Miles.
Looking to activate.
You're gonna stampede, smack a Miles.
Rhino spends 3 power. Gets to advance without using an action, leaving 2 hot, juicy actions to go show Miles Morales the business.
See how many 7-die attack here?
Yepers. First action attack into Miles Morales. Gets 2 successes with a crit to resolve into a shield. Miles will Spider Senses reroll 2 dice. Try to convert up, gets 2 blocks. First action does no damage from the Rhino. Rhino
You
sends
really
a
needed
second action.
power for this throw here.
Well, we've got 3 successes coming on the second attack. Crit doesn't resolve into anything. Miles will Spider Senses reroll. Miles is showing no blocks currently.
Oof.
No blocks currently.
Oh, he
Blocks
got one.
1. We'll take 2.
Takes off the throw for Rhino.
Because the Rhino's throw costs 3? Sure does. Rhino theoretically does have to place himself after the second attack. I imagine he's pretty confident. Still staying there. Does not get the throw. Miles Morales lives with 3 stamina and is holding a cube. But he won't die this turn.
Fully expect Miles to be out of here as well.
That makes sense to me.
Keep that Infinity Cube.
It's like Wong is measuring out a movement action.
I imagine we see a move meditate.
Right, yes, because the meditate takes an action, but the heal does not. Wong activates?
Oh, so yeah, he did heal Amazing Spider.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Wong just double meditates and heals. Okay. That was the turn sequence. Amazing Spider-Man down to 3 stamina out of 6. We'll go up to 2 stamina at the cleanup phase, but will not drop his cube. Thanks to Wongers.
Super curious if how aggressive Jesta's gonna be here. If he's gonna go try to murder himself a Bucky, try to get extra cube and that point, and try to get up on V's, or if he's gonna try to get out of
With Miles?
Miles.
That makes sense. Yeah, Miles is threatening a web swing 7 dice kick. With a throw that has been known to deal some damage.
I think Bucky is, yeah, he's like right on the point, so you're not out of his reroll range. We'll get that.
His hidden Spetsnaz training.
Mm-hmm.
Superpower. Easy one to forget. Pretty much any time unless he has specifically Hydra Tactics himself forward for a spender. Is usually the time that I see that forgotten the least. Sandra Nova takes a move action up front, is looking at a range 4 attack onto Gwen. That has to be the 1 power spender that auto bows.
Sure why. Oh, he's looking at a mental dom play.
Ah.
I think because mental dom is range 3, so it's not a mental. Unless he did measure 3.
Unsure. What range 4? No, that makes sense. Yeah, range 4 is your builder. The sap power. Sap power onto Spider Gwen has to be juicy. But I wonder, Chalupa still is behind on points and has not gotten any of his damage to stick. Sandra Nova decides to pick up some dice, is throwing 6 dice at Gwen.
Gwen just does not die. Oh, so did the move.
Advances Gwen. Long. Sandra Nova spends 2 power. And slows. And roots Gwen.
Not like that.
Correct. It's not one, it's the other. Yeah, that's Almost worse than a double stagger to pretty much anybody on a Web Warriors roster, but let alone Gwen. Especially since Gwen has not been sitting on the Infinity formulas around to receive the extra power. All the power she's gotten is from taking attacks.
Yeah, she's so next round she's got 1 lifesaver available instead of the 2 that she would if she wasn't rooted.
And is standing next to a Sentinel Prime. Miles Morales takes a web swing, pulls into range 2 of the Winter Soldier.
He's going the aggressive route.
Will be outside of range 1 for the Spetsnaz training. But this definitely looks like a kick. Right, yeah,
It's range 3.
his kick is range 3. Yeah, he's way in. He's way in. Dice have been cleared, but it looks like we're discussing or thinking. Dice are back. I see 7 dice. This is definitely an empowered webline kick. For Miles Morales, rolls 2 successes, but lands that wild. Winter Soldier gets 1 success. Oh, this is a Venom Blast.
Oh, a swing and a Venom Blast. And boogie out of here.
Yep. Still leaves a second action for Miles Morales to swing around and be outside of line of sight from Winter Soldier.
It's in danger from Rhino. Pretty trivially, I think.
Correct.
Works.
Taking 2 damage from these cubes is going to put Miles Morales out 1 stamina, but that gives him a 3 victory point lead.
Mm-hmm.
And Wong is still sitting here just like medicing.
Yep.
Wong says, "What are victory points? I'm just here.
Triage,
I'm just here to play.
Triage.
Yeah, to play cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody told Wong that he's on a point scoring team.
Very specifically does not want to give the free to measuring it out.
Spider-Woman spends 2 power. This has to be a glide. We'll place Spider-Woman.
Got range 2 attack.
Right, Spider-Woman has range 3 on her builder. 5 dice energy.
Oh no, he's gonna get stunned here. I know it. Oh no, Prime hates stun.
4 successes with a wild.
Stun
Prime
before
rolls
damage too.
2 successes. That is correct. The wild gives Spider-Woman the option to shock, stun, or poison the target before damage is applied. Chooses shock onto Cassandra Nova.
Oh, it went into Nova. That's right.
Nova has 3 physical defense, energy defense. Right.
Yeah.
She does have 3 energy defense. And Spider-Woman moves, shocks Cassandra Nova, and hops back, still in range of the Infinity Cure, and is holding a cube, locking down those points. End of round 3, scored 10 points for the Web Warriors to 8. 2 victory point lead.
I was gonna up his cubes here. Days. Flip.
Miles Dazes. Which, with priority, Rhino gets to pick up 2 cubes. It's not. And he's pretty much priced into picking up these 2 cubes, right?
Mm-hmm. I think he's got to. Otherwise, Miles is just going to yoink, grab the cubes, run away.
That makes sense. And then that makes having the priority control with like the Sentinel Prime who's staring down Ghost Spider all that more taxing. That makes sense.
Imagine we're going to see a pretty big swing in here, though. I think there's going to be some big points going towards.
Okay.
And
That makes
his
sense, and he definitely needs it.
team is pretty beat up.
He's down 2 points, and Rhino is staring at 2 victory points at his feet, so that has to keep him in. Chalupa is pondering what to do with this priority, I imagine. Probably going through a similar dialogue that we are.
I mean, if he picks up these 2 cubes and he can get rid of Miles, that gives him 4 VP on a flank that has nobody on Estos.
And that removes his opponent's leader, which also makes all other attacks more damaging.
Correct.
Which makes me wonder if he even spends the power to pick up the cubes before he starts doing damage, if he's afraid of not doing enough damage to throw this size 4 truck at Miles.
I think I would almost wager just chucking some dice into Miles, seeing where we're at. Like you said.
Yes, with the auto place off of Rhino and his enormous base, he definitely does get to pick pretty much anything. Rhino spends 2 power, interacts with 2 cosmic cubes.
Don't want to chance it. He's just picking him up.
That makes sense. You're down points. You just gotta get back in the game as clean as you can. Miles Morales is within range 2 of the Rhino. Which does what? This is a robbery? That doesn't do anything, right? We are picking up some dice. We are just doing 5 dice into Miles Morales. This has to be a strike.
Oh, big roll.
On the Rhino. Ooh, 6 successes on your 5 dice strike.
Big roll.
Big roll. Miles gets a crit, doesn't pick up. Picks up 1 block, up to 3 blocks total in between. All things will take a total of 3 damage off of this first strike. This has to have Chalupa chomping at the bit to remove this leadership.
This is a dead Miles. This has got to be a dead Miles. Oh,
Miles
fallback.
Morales uses the fallback card.
Which is interesting because now the place will happen. Fallback happens before damage. When does the place happen?
The place happens after. No, the place happens before damage is dealt.
Yep. So before damage is dealt would happen. He places, then falls back.
And that is because Rhino is active player, so his abilities resolve first. Makes sense.
Looks like he can't move out of range 3 again.
That makes sense. But Miles Morales can definitely get away from a size 4 terrain feature. Yeah, there's no running away from the Rhino, but you can run away from the truck. Rhino measures a.
I mean, I think he still gets the crash truck if he places within 1 of Miles. Maybe?
He places close back. It is range 2 to pick up that truck.
So place within 1 of Miles, and then
range 2 medium stick. I imagine that medium stick was to measure to see if Miles was in range of having a truck thrown at him.
Yeah, we're probably gonna see Stampede.
Does he break this this motorcycle on the Stampede, or does he get stopped? Breaks the motorcycle.
That's it.
Okay. Is outside of range 4 of Sentinel Prime. I imagine no reroll support on this attack. pulls up a 7 dice. Gore attack into Miles Morales. Rolls 4 successes total with 1 crit to resolve. Miles Morales picks up 1 block before Spider Senses. Pull a Spider Senses and a Miles reroll.
Hmm.
Probably should have done the Miles reroll first. Try to turn that skull into something. Blocks 1, takes 3. That is a KO'd Miles Morales.
Could
web
reroll the
heads-
skull, by the way.
Oh, he wasn't Inter-A. He wasn't next to a
Yeah.
terrain feature. That makes sense.
Mm,
He ran away from it.
did. So Rhino kind of out of position here.
Definitely. And he is only scoring 2 points instead of 3.
Taking that leadership off was definitely the right call. Pretty big.
And that should also give some power. No, that doesn't give power. Because of Sentinel Prime's leadership. Doesn't work for killing people. Sentinels, often known for their inability, how much they dislike removing people from things. Definitely very flavorful. Sentinels are definitely non-lethal takedowners.
Doesn't get it for the
Oh, for the
powers.
KO. For
Well,
the
yeah, for the stones or the cubes.
Wow, that's got to be pretty
It's not an enemy effect. Ugh.
correct. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Getting Miles being dazed off of the Cosmic Cube didn't give any leadership triggers, so Sentinel leadership has yet to come up this game. Ghost Spider takes an advance backwards. Onto Ghost Spider cleared the slow and then advanced with her second action. Ghost Spider still is rooted.
Moved right in front of Spider Woman. In time.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's some web warrior plays, making sure that your web pulls, knowing how to play around, getting pulled in.
I don't know. I would
These
almost like just
short
advance with Prime here and throw some dice at good old Peter. Try to take him off the board.
Just get going.
Drop that cube and. Well, I guess if you moved, pulled him in, and spent power to an 8-die energy attack into
the Amazing Spider-Man. With the place forward and a short pull, that would be pretty close to being able to pick up the cube. I don't have the math off of hand to be able to tell exactly their difference, but from a spectator's glance up here, I don't know if that looks like a pretty tight play to be able to.
I think you got it all day. Figuring it out. I think you might be looking at it.
Okay.
And you
Sentinel
could.
Prime spends 2 power.
He's going.
Will restraint cables onto Ghost Spider. Playing a little fast and loose without the without the towards template.
Towards, if I've ever seen it.
I agree. He's just not crossing his T's. For Sentinel Prime will advance short. Is unconcerned about the slow token on himself. Is within 1 of the Infinity Cure.
If he was measuring one of the truck, because you wanted to smash here.
That makes sense. And unfortunately is not. And Sentinel Prime definitely wants to smash that truck.
Right. He's just gonna probably dump all 3 power here and try to take.
3 away from Sentinel Prime. A pull back from Spider-Woman.
Oh, Spider Tracker. Seen a
Spider Tracker. Spider Tracker makes sense. Range 3 attacks on Sentinel Prime, correct?
Correct.
It is range 4 on the grappling cables, but range 3 on the attack.
Can't grappling cables again because you already used it.
That makes sense. Spider-Woman spends 2 power. Will hop into the bed of this truck.
Wanted to go after Spider-Woman. Eight power, Amazing Spider-Man, 5 threat. Gotta be.
Yeah, and we've already invested a lot of attacks from the Winter Soldier into him previously. If you're just trying to get people done, you just need to get 2 damage onto the Amazing Spider-Man. He does have his full rerolls.
Oh, that's why they're slowed. All webbed up is played. So
all
Prime.
webbed up.
So Prime's in a little bit of trouble if Amazing Spider-Man can get off some.
This is an all webbed up turn, and he's not just trying to take down Amazing Spider-Man. Okay. Rolling 8 dice. Sentinel Prime 2/2/2 got 2 crits to resolve, 6 total successes, resolves 1 of them for 7 successes into 2 blocks from Spider-Woman, and the skull unable to be modified for cover. So that should be 5 coming to Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman is dazed. Sentinel Prime leadership will finally happen.
Yay!
Gets to distribute power to his team. And a cube is dropped.
This will be close. I'm not 100% sure if.
Well, he's not doing the medium stick. He's not giving us a medium stick to know actually exactly.
Stick.
Mm-hmm. This would be a tough one to resolve. IRL. Having to put that token down exactly on that slope surface of the truck.
Mm-hmm. Awful.
Just gonna okay. Placing down. Pops it. Measure. Chris
Close.
might not have been fully aware of the medium stick trick. Sentinel Prime ends his turn, gains some power.
I think we're gonna see a. Not quite sure by. I mean,
this is obviously a tough choice. Peter Parker, this is an all webbed up turn. He's ready. He's itching to go avenge his fallen comrade, but there is points in front of him. Will he decide to roll dice, or will he eat his vegetables and just score more points?
There's got to be a Wong going here, right, to heal Amazing Spider-Man before he goes ham. Gotta be.
That makes sense. Wong might be able to fish in a movement action as well. Well, if Wong moves into Rex, will he have enough power in order to heal?
Well, he'll move, interact, meditate, heal.
Right?
I guess.
Heal continues to not be an action, despite what I believe.
Continues to not be in action. So it looks like that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
So now it's a little tougher for Ms. Nova here.
No, the heal is definitely an action. It's the power
Oh, it's
shove that
the.
isn't an action.
That's
but it
what it
only
is.
costs 1 power.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So we only needed 1 power to do it. Okay.
See,
There we go.
you correct me. I could just
It's
look
all-
at these cards, but I'm pretty comfy sitting in my chair,
There we go.
way back away from my mouse.
Winter Soldier measures advance, moves up 2 inches forward to be on the Infinity Cure, while theoretically looking to be dangerous next turn. Has to staple a character off to score points. Can't just run at these Spider-Man.
This would have been the round that you mental dom here. Nova here and probably thrown what you can at
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
mental domination. You can't re-roll your attacks against them, right?
I think
Or no, you may re-roll your opponent's dice.
that's what it is. Yeah. Like throwing an attack into Wong here would have been big. Like if you could have gotten.
Or even just Peter Parker attacking himself.
Yeah. Swing on himself.
Yep. It's happened to my Thor. It feels a little weird, but I was like, "Oh, cool! Now you're gonna attack well." Peter Parker web swings off. We're rolling some dice
Got a
against
medium stick out, so I'm guessing
Rhino.
he's spendering here.
Okay. Peter Parker shows 4 successes against the Rhino. Rhino
Same
rolls
Spider. Now spender.
no blocks. Rhino is looking at an aggressive.
An aggressive into a spender.
Ooh. Spider Strike resolves. We did not get the momentum trigger off of.
Well, it looks like he swung and then just did his normal strike. Hated the aggressive. Chris took the aggressive. Go into range 2.
Which will unlock a spender. Spider-Man 2 crits to resolve. Doesn't resolve any of that. Convert any. We've got 4 successes into 2 blocks. Sentinel Prime will tell him to reroll. Gets nothing. That is 1 damage coming into Rhino with his damage reduction.
Juices him
Cap
fully.
Off at power. Peter Parker will advance medium as a mandatory trigger off of his Spider Strike. And we do also have a catch, maybe? Elected not to throw a size 2 terrain feature at Rhino. I mean, it probably could have been like that barrier that Rhino's standing next to, try to get
Could have been, yeah.
1 more damage on it. All in all, not a big thing. Definitely was looking for the mandatory advance trigger to go pull Peter Parker onto that point. Unfortunately, jebaited.
Yeah. Reasonable chance. See.
Sandra Nova shifts 2 inches to the left. Dice are being rolled. 4 dice, 1 crit. No defensive successes. Ghost Fighter takes a damage. Cassandra Nova heals 1. This was a builder from Nova.
Oh, cause shock.
Move
I was like,
action
wait a
and a
second.
builder. Yep.
14, 13.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
14, 13. Close game, and is now up for the Web Warriors to come pull out all of the tricks that they have in their book to win, to clean it up. This is a pretty high scoring game, so
Really just gotta fish for all the VP that you can here now.
with 2 damage, Rhino is at 1 stamina remaining. Looks like we have Directive 1 being pulled into the dice tray. Chalupa looking down and seeing that he does in fact have cards to play, elects to play his first tactics card on round 4. And we'll make it easier to play to kill the enemy characters. Directive 1 removes the stealth superpower and makes it so opponents cannot reroll or modify dice against attacks from his entire team, not even just Sentinel characters.
Everyone.
This is pretty much the big payoff for playing Sentinels. And I can't imagine a better card to play it against than this Web Warriors roster.
Big payoff. Wrong, you're playing giant robots.
Sure thing.
Payoff.
Peter Parker, right?
Web swing,
Webs?
probably a normal.
Webs had priority. I totally missed that. 3 successes on offense. Looks like we've got 2 successes. Sentinel Prime, -1 power, pulling a reroll into 3 successes. Crits down the line.
That's huge.
No successes. This is attacking into Rhino. Rhino pulls 3 blocks. 3 blanks.
Oh no.
Sentinel Prime drops 3
Roll.
power. Peter Parker has only rolled 1 successive hit. The 1 crit from Rhino will block out.
Oh man.
Peter Parker decided to tape pillows to his fists on this turn and is not liking it.
I fully see this is a robbery here, right? And Rhino just getting out of dodge and
100%.
sitting on 3 cubes. Probably no one in close to him. I mean, 2 double moves and a medium stampede. Just out of nowhere.
That makes sense. Rhino's got a full stack of power, so he better do something cool with his turn. Everybody's been talking about him. Rhino spends 3 power. Will advance towards Peter Parker. Has to be with his Stampede.
Yep.
Rhino spends 2 more power. Flips. This is a robbery.
Oh, right, because you got to be within 1. So stampeding, gonna drop the.
And then we'll double move. Probably could have been farther away with a move action and then stampede away, but we're picking nits at this point.
Right. I think Modesto's in trouble here because even with a pull from, I don't think it's enough. That's not true. You could pull in with Gwen. Spider-Woman could move over and glide and attack. It's too enough of them.
Hot question. Spider-Woman's Spender makes you drop a token or all your tokens?
Let's look at the card. Is it all of them?
It sure is all of them.
Money. I mean, if I was Chalupa here, I'd be throwing Bucky right in front of my Rhino, like a stop, so he can't go anywhere.
To not be web pulled off of the point, just double down on the points that you're scoring.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's already got 3. I think Prime handle this point over here. Just goes last.
Definitely. Prime is sitting clean and clear, completely untouched, so he's in no danger of dying. Did not take any damage on the all webbed up turn. It really only just slowed Cassandra Nova.
It still doesn't. He needs this when pulled, and I think he makes it there.
That makes sense. So Modesto is at the unfortunate thing where maybe he does see this Gwen pull. Spider-Woman comes and picks up all the cube play, but Chalupa does get a turn of activating in between that, of which Spider-Woman gets to get double attacked by Sentinel Prime.
Good, or Nova could just, walk over there and use her 1-cost mind possession and Spider-Woman go into the corner.
That sounds pretty scary too.
Then even potentially use her move to trigger her psychic deflection to get on Prime Zone. Double down.
Yep. Put multiple things on a point and sort of backstop Cassandra Nova from being web pulled by Prime's fat ass.
Right. I think there's several paths to victory here for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chalupa. Desto's, I think, in panic mode at this point. Down a VP from a cube. And we've got 2 of the 4 getting scored. Almost for sure from Chalupa.
Certainly dire straits. That Rhino sure did become a pain in the side for these webheads.
ASM whiffing those 2 attacks is oof.
Huge swing.
Yeah. That is MCP dice for you.
Oh boy, yep. As soon as you need them, your 5-threat leader is just gonna whiff on you.
Oh, rip.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, Thor.
Oh, Black Bolt. Oh.
Oh, Cable. Wow, we could just name a lot, couldn't we?
Yeah, really, man, all those 5-threat leaders sure are dice dependent, except for that one new one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Modesto is really in the tank.
Yeah, he's trying to dig himself out here, trying to figure out what he can.
Mm-hmm. He's got a full stack of power on Spider-Woman, so that has to do something. Gwen is still rooted, so Gwen gets to do one thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a 0 chance that Gwen could just Nova off right. I'm not 100% sure what that game. He's got to get his cubes off of Ryan. Just has to.
Yeah.
Gwen does have the power, even with Root, to move full in. I think he's really nervous that Prime's just going to ace Spider-Woman.
Makes sense. Spider-Woman, it really looked like Spider-Woman tried to measure to be outside of range too of Sentinel Prime off of the spider tracker. And I'm wondering if that is currently biting him in the ass, being outside of martial artist range.
potentially.
Spider-Woman takes a move action.
Well, they're both
Takes
measuring
a
3. They're like, oh no.
lighter action is outside of range 3 to do the pheromone strike, some sort of intoxicating blast.
Nope, bioelectric strike, right? Just a normal strike is 3.
Yep. Spider-Woman takes another move action, will stand on the point, but won't even score that point over the currently healthy Rhino because she is injured.
Now I think we're seeing Prime move up, probably smashes the truck.
Yeah.
And
Smashes the truck, rolls 1 success off of 9 dice.
Oh, this game.
And
wow, when your 5-threat leader just whiffs.
This one even has rerolls.
Oh man, what do you do?
To be fair, Rhino took no damage from a double strike of Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be some dice luck swinging back.
So I'm pretty sure less when murders.
Cassandra Nova spent 2 power.
Ooh, almost got Gwen.
Deals 1 damage to Gwen. Gets to advance. Sure. Gwen spent 2 power on something. Spent 3 power on something.
She would
have.
Unless she was,
We'll advance back.
was probably expecting to spend her. Be my guess, but then got domed. Or not domed, psychic.
Okay, yeah. Gwen gained 2 power or something.
Sure, this is game here.
Sandra Nova steps back on the point. Heals a damage from her healing factor. And it is up to Wong to save the day. Yeah, judging by these hand emotions, I imagine that we are talking out the points.
Yep.
Wong moves 2 inches to the left.
He's getting that Infinity Formula.
Okay.
So he's got 2 healthy characters on that. So got that one. And that's it. 1 cube for 2.
Yeah. 2 victory points. And Chalupa will score 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, 3 cubes and 3 points.
4 cubes, right? He's got 3 on Rhino, 1 on
yeah,
Cassandra
that's
Nova.
right. Yeah, totally. Yep.
So that'll put him to, what was his point total before? Do you know?
14.
14 plus 7, that's 21. 15 to 21.
Oof.
Yep. Walks it in. That was looking pretty close for a hot second.
Love to see a Sentinel come out on top. Especially, I think Modesto was a 3-0, and Lupa over here was a 2-1, so he got the pair down and lost to Sentinels. Oh, poor Modesto.
I mean, if anybody's gonna lose to Sentinels, it's gonna be Web Warriors.
It's gonna be Webs. Yeah.
Webs are definitely not feeling it. Yeah, the it is not a super. Webs aren't super like in a lot of the things that are happening, and then you just take Sentinels that can't be web pulled, and this hot Directive 1 card that didn't do a whole lot this game, but turning off all of the rerolls from your opponent's round, right? Like if
Pretty
that
huge,
would have
yeah.
if that would have happened when like Miles was being attacked on the same turn that Peter Parker was being attacked,
Mm-hmm.
you just turn off all of your opponent's stuff, especially when they elect into Miles' leadership. You just turn off their leadership for a whole turn.
Right. Yeah, super curious now that I'm thinking about it more. When Rhino double moved, pretty sure Bucky was close. Oh no, he measured the range too. See if you match up range.
To patch up Rhino.
I do remember seeing the match up range.
Okay.
Well,
now that makes sense.
That was
all
fun.
in all, a good match, a good game, and I was happy to commentate it.
Yeah, super fun. Ron's not knowing what they're doing.